Hello, my name is Rich. I'm with the Gospel Rescue Mission here in Muskogee, and I today want to take a moment to tell you what makes us a little bit different than how we used to be many years ago, and how we're different than other nonprofits that are working to be a poverty reduction center just like us. We are different. And the thing that makes us different is step one. See, step one is we've developed a flywheel. If you're familiar with Jim Collins' flywheel, is that once you get the flywheel going, it goes nonstop and you're getting benefit after benefit after benefit. It starts out slow, but over time you're going to build up momentum and things are really going to happen. So our flywheel is what I believe makes us different. If you're interested in getting a slide, a picture of this, you can email me at rich.shouse@grmmuskogee.org. On our website, grmmuskogee.org, is a contact button. You can hit that. Send me an email. We'll send you the information to spell this out better for you. But what makes us different is where we start. We start with this belief that the men and women that we serve, those who show up for our food services, whether that's a meal, a food basket, it could be our shelter services, it could be financial help, whatever it is, we look at them and assume that greatness is within them. That God has planted a seed that is important to our community within them. And so we assume that. We start off with that as our premise, and that they have a great value to our society. Now, what we used to do is we used to assume these poor little boovalas, they're needing help and they're special, and we still agree with that. They're still special. But we have to take care of them with our heart and with our mind. We thought we had to babysit them. And that created all sorts of trouble. I'll tell you next week about the doom loop, which is what comes when we believe that. But now we believe there's greatness within them, great value. We just need to call it out on them. So we look at these men and women. And then, because of that, we cannot help but become curious about those hopes and dreams, that thing that's been planted in them. I desire to know what is going on inside of this person. I'm also curious what is stopping them from accomplishing their hopes and dreams. What are those barriers, those things that have caused them to turn away? It could be an addiction, it could be past choices, it could be past relationships. There's a plethora of things it could be, but I'm going to be curious about what that might be. And that's what happens here at the Gospel Rescue Mission. And when we get to that, we can't help but invest our lives into them. We can't help but to invest our resources and our challenges and our difficulties that we have seen and experienced, that we've learned from and we've applied in our lives. We know this and we understand it, so we can apply it in their lives. We invest in their futures. Talk about their past, but invest in their futures. We encourage their professional, spiritual, and professional growth because we see their hopes and dreams. We get excited about their hopes and dreams. Hopefully they are too. And if we do that, we can't help but to hold them accountable for those choices. See, we look at their hopes and dreams and say, how can I use this to help them to grow? How can I help them to achieve great things? Help them to find the purpose in their lives. We can't help but to spur them on toward fulfilling all that God has called them to be. I can't help but include the accountability and speaking the truth in love. Yes, I love you. And because I love you, when you do this, it's going to keep you from getting to your dream. Worked with a man recently who had anger that was holding him back. If you don't learn to deal with your anger, my friend, you're not going to be able to achieve your dream. So let me help you work on your anger. That's the truth in love. Kind of scary to deal with somebody's anger is their issue. But then when that happens, we can't help but be encouraging them and speak positive about their lives. We can't help but see them and teach them to believe in themselves. And we can't help but loving them and leading them toward God. Now the truth is, by the time we get to this point, we can't help but do all this. By the time we even get to this, and I'll read this again, we cannot help but keep encouraging each guest, each person we work with, to seek positive life change by believing in them and teaching them to believe in themselves, loving them and leading them to God. Now the thing is, by the time we get to this point, some people have dropped out because they didn't really believe in their hopes and dreams. They didn't really want to do that. They just wanted a temporary stop to the pain. But here, we're starting to see those focus. We're starting to have fewer people. I'll go back to the guest picture of this in a moment. And when we do that, we can't help but have true stories of life change. These are things that have got to take place. We're going to see lives change because we're believing in them. We're encouraging them. We're investing in them. We're encouraging them forward. And then when we do that, the community cannot help but support the efforts that they see the lives change, because when enough lives get changed, this whole community can change. And now what this looks like at the guest level is that the guest is going to arrive. It's just the way it's going to be. They're going to show up here and they're going to do some things, and I don't know what that would all look like, what's all been going on, but they get here. They go through our orientation. They join with our shelter guests. They join with our meal guests. They join with our financial help. They're part of who we are. Then the guest is going to learn and grow or reject and leave. They're going to reject this new opportunity, these new hopes, and they're going to take off. And then we're going to be able to focus our resources and energy onto those that want life change. I'm going to focus my energy right there. Boom, I'm only helping those who want life change. I'm investing all the resources that you might be donating to the mission on helping them out. And then those not wanting life change and the pain, they continue to shake off. They decide, oh, this is too much, it's too difficult, my dream is too big, it's too silly, or whatever it is, they take off. And we'll have more people drop out. That's part of this whole flywheel picture. But the guest stories, the success stories, they're going to get excited about it. They're going to be telling their friends. And someday that person who dropped out is going to notice that story, that person who's life-changing. Say, I remember that guy when he had that anger issue. I remember him. I remember her when she had this problem and couldn't get to be a doctor like she wanted to be. I don't know what all this. They're going to say, oh, I knew that, but look at them. They're successful. And then that person who dropped out is going to try again. And then guest arrives, and then the whole process, that whole flywheel goes on. Over time, more and more people will experience true life transformation because you supported the Gospel Rescue Mission. Thank you for listening, and I'll be joining you next week telling you a little bit about the doom loop and the problems that causes.